Hey guys, welcome back. I guess we're trying to revisit. Okay, like I said, we are revisiting some of the fics. I'm just basically rereading the fics that I have read before. So here it goes. I read the first part already, so welcome back. Now it's time to give you the part two. So hopefully you're ready as me. So let's keep this thing going, okay? All right, let's continue on. Key doesn't mean to slam the door shut, but he knows the second he pushes that it's going to. He can feel the vibrations to the floor as he trudges into the living room of their apartment. So can see Cheryl look up out of the corner of his eye, probably to glare at him. Key doesn't look at him. Can't be reprimanded if he doesn't look at him to see his hands move. Instead, he tosses the to-go bag on the coffee table and puts his knee up on the arm of the couch, letting momentum carry him forward to fall on his chest on the couch. He buries his face in the cushions, smelling of old fabric, Febreze, and cat. One hand flops over the edge of the couch, and he feels a nose poke at it. Without looking up, he scratches at Nugget's head, slipping his fingers beneath her chin and cheek as she purrs. It's only a moment later that he feels the couch dip as Shira sits next to him. A tap on his shoulder. He groans loudly but rolls onto his side, leaning against the back of the couch to glare at his brother. How'd it go? He signs. Key rolls his head back, groaning again as he flops an arm over his face. Shiro nudges his leg at a moment later, and Key peeks out from under his arms at his brother signs. There's a worried pinch to his brows and a purse to his lips. I hope it's not too bad. It's permanent how whether you like it or He cuts him off by waving a hand at him. He then half-assedly gestures to the bandage on his forearm, putting a thumb to his chest. Fingers splayed out wide as he moves his hand away and rolls the eyes for good measure. The tattoo is fine. The worriedness evaporates completely. Mountain forming a small oh. It then raises his eyebrows in obvious question, pointing to himself then his eyes before gesturing to the bench. Can I see it? Keith sighs, but obliges by sitting up, half-heartedly shoving Shiro to the side and swinging his feet down to the floor. He removes the bandages, carefully exposing his forearm and eyeing the new ink for the first time since the parlor. Shiro takes his arm gingerly, turning it this way and that to get a good look at it. He lets out a long whistle. He can't exactly hear that, but he knows his brother's whistle appreciation fades well enough. With one hand, he lazily signs. Looks good. He's very talented. He agrees, with a simple nod, ducking his head a little in an attempt to hide a small smile he could feel forming on his lips. Lance is incredibly talented. Behind all that boisterous bravado is the actual talent and skill to back it up. Kate's body is a testament to that. He has several tattoos that are all attributed to Lance's skill as an artist. Tattoos has always been part of the plan. He always known he gets several in his lifetime. He just didn't expect he get this many in just under the span of a year. His wallet is hurting, but he's happy. And he blames Lance for both of those things. Lance with his pretty stupid smile and his stupid face. Lance and his innate inability to make Keith feel comfortable and at ease and normal. It's something he usually only experiences around family and close friends, and now Lance. When Pidge had first gotten a job as a piercer at Altea, she had convinced him to finally get his first tat. He's been putting it off for years. It's not that communicating with people, it's impossible. His big spine, more out of muscle memory than anything. And after spending years without his hearing, he's growing used to having to communicate by reading lips or patiently waiting for people to write down what they want to say. It's not easy and it's not fun, but it's manageable. It's his life now. But that doesn't mean he was exactly looking forward to trying to hash out details of the tattoo via scribbled sentences and half-assed gestures. That's where Paige came in. She told him that her coworkers were nice and patient and understanding, and that she'd be here to help translate for him. Finally gave in, and he's glad he did. When had arrived, Alora had been at the front desk. Paige had introduced them, and they shaken hands, and she went on to explain Keith's predicament, signing as she spoke to keep him in conversation. Hadn't gotten far before Lance had sidled up into the group, putting a hand on Alora's shoulder, telling her that he had this, and giving them all a winning smile. A whole heart skipping the beat thing was soured by the way his cockiness grated on Keith's nerves. Paige had told him to stop his bad flirting, to which he surprised them all by not saying but signing. Excuse you, my flirting is top notch. They had all gave to him, mouths hanging open in stunned silence as he turned the key, giving a musing. How are you doing, handsome? Alora had handed the job over to Lance after that. And Pidge had hesitantly stepped aside, wearing suspicion written across her features, and surprisingly, everything had gone smoothly. After the initial surprise had worn off, Lance had easily slid back into professionalism. His cocky charm is still there, coating him like a second skin. But taking the back seat as he talked tattoos, they talk about what Keith wanted and where. Talk about the details, discuss different options. Yeah, discuss different options. Lance listened to his thoughts, offering his own ideas and giving Keith his professional opinion. He followed along with Keith's hand gestures easily, signing his own with a lazy ease that came from years of practice. It pulled Keith in, putting him at ease without him really realizing it. Mayhem laughed to the point where Paige gave him an odd, knowing look from across the room. As Lance set up his station, they continued their small talk. He told Lance how he and Paige had known each other for years, had met through their brothers. He told him that he decided to lose his hearing over 10 years ago and had been completely deaf since he was 17. He learned that Lance's little sister had been born deaf and that his whole family had learned ASL as a result. Learned that his family spoke English, Spanish, and ASL fluently and intermittently at home. From that day onward, he had found himself coming back time and time again, whether it was for his own tattoos or to hang out with Pitch. She would finally let his arm go, using both hands to sign. I wasn't sure what to expect, but this is better than anything I imagined. Yeah, he did great. He looks down at the egg, telling his son to catch the light. He had known what to expect either when he told Lance he wanted some kind of artistic interpretation of his mom's old knife tattoo on his forearm, but Lance had really outdone himself, mostly black with purple shades to highlight it. The ink stands out beautifully against his pale skin. He clenches his fist before relaxing it, watching the muscles and tendons dance beneath his skin, beneath the ink, beneath yet another mark Lance had left on his body, negative space completing the design. He thinks about Lance, hands on him, those long, lithe fingers, skilled and precise and incredibly gentle. Thinks about how Lance head bobs as he works. Lance moves to whatever song is playing on the radio. Has no idea what Lance's voice is like, but he likes to think he's a good singer. He knows visual cues well enough to pick up on the ease and confidence which he sings along. He likes to watch him. There's not much else to do. They don't talk much while Lance is working. He'll ask occasional questions, but it's hard when his hands are full and busy. He doesn't mind. It's a comfortable silence. He always tries to distract himself with his phone, switching between apps mindlessly, but his eyes always wander back to Lance, sweep over his face, taking the sharp features and smooth skin. Those gorgeously blue eyes, the upturned nose, the way his smooth lips form words that he can't hear. Lance has caught him staring a couple of times, but he doesn't say anything about it. Just gives him a small smile and maybe a wink before going back to his work. Goes with that smile in place as he continues to sing along to the radio, practically preening under the confirmation that Keith is watching him. Keith is pretty sure having heart isn't normal when getting tattoos, but he's pretty sure he hasn't been able to get one without having several. Movement catches his eye. He looks up to see Shiro holding hands up, letting to drop forward with palms up. The question is clear on his face. So he raises an eyebrow, waiting for clarification. Shiro says, "Did you ask him to the concert?" Keith's arms drop as he flops back against the couch, letting his head loll back with a groan. He makes it extra loud for added effect, feeling his vocal cords vibrate. Shiro's smile is sympathetic and understanding, but it's not enough to hide his amusement. What a net butthead. Ah, so that's what that was about? Keith lifts him off. Shiro chuckles. He can see, despite his efforts to hide it. It's not too late, you know? Keith makes a few quick gestures before crossing his arms over his chest. Shoulders hunched as he scowls, and his toes scowling, not pouting. Nope. It is. You already bought the tickets, Shiro points out. Keith says, I know. A few seconds pass before he lets his share out of the corner of his eyes. Want to go with me? Shiro laughs again, this time making no move to hide it. He shakes his head, laying a hand on Keith's shoulder and squeezing reassuringly. Good to know I'm just your second chance, he sighs, a teasing light in his eyes. Keith hops, looking away and sinking a little lower on the couch. He chickened out. He knows he did. He screwed up. He had been ready, spent hours before his appointment pumping himself up, beating himself confidence boosters and threats in the mirror, built up the armor around him, ready for battle, shield and sword. That's when faced with Lance easily smile and liquid eyes, his defenses crumbled, tore his armor apart, ripped his shield away and left him exposed, raw, vulnerable. Yeah, it sucks that he never got to ask what he wanted to do. Yeah, it sucks that he missed his chance. But at the time, all he could think about was how rejection would have hurt even worse. He could just he could have just pulled it off as friends. Could have, but he didn't. But he doesn't want to be just friends. He wants Lance. All of Lance. Wants to beat him in video games, wants to hold his hand, wants to steal his food, wants to cuddle him on the couch while it rains outside, wants him in his bed, hot and needy and out of breath. He wants it all. Too bad. He's too chicken crap to take the first step. Shiro pushes himself to his feet and he glances up out of reflex. When he catches Shiro's eye, the man smiles. Don't feel too bad. You never know what might happen. Could be surprised. He says there, lips pursing. His hand motions are short, slow, and precise demanding. What do you know? Shiro's smile turns sheepish as he backs away. Nothing. Shiro. He roughly makes his brother's name sign, but the man has already turned around, striding toward the door. He lifts his feet, prepared to charge out there. Shiro, he says, voice low and warning. He swipes his keys off the table and turns to face him. Gotta go run some errands. Later, bro. He's out the door before Key can stop him. His phone buzzes, but a text is phone later. But here's the text here. You can't hear me, but I want you to know I'm laughing all the way out to the Barclay. You're a freaking wiener. What the heck was supposed to mean? What do you know? Love you too. I guess you'll just have to wait and see. Okay. All right, that's the end of that part. There's nothing much else now. And so you already see Lance's side on that last video. Now, this video is going to be the Keith side. So we'll get introduction on the Lance's side, and then we get to the Keith side. So we have both of the sides now. See how this whole thing's going to be mixed with. So we'll just have to find out and see the next part. Very, very glad about the background story about Keith and be going on depth around 17 years old. And I had to learn to do and ASL, American Sign Language, because I really want to learn how to do American Sign Language because all I want is just the letters of the alphabet I have, but just for people who are deaf, you're not watching this video, love you. Love you very much. So that's pretty much the end of this video here. I will see you in the next part, okay? Bye guys.